Hello and welcome back to another video. Yo, I got the mic working again, man. I really got it working after months of not even bothering to try and fix it. It is fixed. I'm hoping the audio sounds good. Now, I won't lie to you. I am slightly cross-faded. Just ever so slightly though. Just ever so slightly. Just come back from a bit of drinking, right? I thought, you know what, let's get this video over and done with, man. I'm in a good mood, but I'm in a good mood to talk about negative shit, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can properly express the way I feel about these albums, right? So now look, I was gonna be a bit ambitious this year and try and upload 4 different videos for my end of year list, and those being top 20 best EPs, top 10 worst albums, top 100 songs, and top 100 albums, right? Now I think I'm only going to do 2 being worst and best albums, only because I'm not going to fully 100% say this, because I do really want to upload the other videos. I'm going to see how long it takes me to upload this, and if it's not that much fast, because, you know, as of recording it's the 20th, so I only have 10 days to really get all this shit out, and I'm kind of lazy, and, you know, it's a lot of things at once sort of thing. So if the other 2 videos don't come out, they'll 100% be posts on my Insta, so, you know, Daniel's Discs. But anyway, yeah, I hope you like the fit. You know, it's not the same, it's not as formal as it was last year, but, you know, like, I mean, it's not the best fit in the world, but, you know, I got this new High C shirt, pretty dope. Really like the new album, so stay tuned for obviously the top 100. Now give me one moment, because I left my list just over there, so just give me one moment. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so yeah, top 10 worst albums. Now this is the thing, these albums, they are all damn near as bad as each other, which is kind of shocking to say, because last year there were plenty of bad albums, but there were some that were like, okay, there's something tolerable here. But a lot of these albums are like, I've never had this much hatred towards a lot of albums. I feel like I say that every year, but I think it's only because I delve into more albums, right? Now some of these are going to be surprising picks for some people, but yeah, like I said, I don't like anything about these to an extent, and I will explain that, because there's one album where it's a bit weird. But yeah, yeah, obviously, if you like all these, shit, fair enough, but I don't know how. But anyways, let me stop rambling. Number 10, I got World War II by Chris Travis. Now let me tell you why. Because 30 tracks of mediocre Memphis rap is too much to handle. It's too much to handle for anyone. You know what I mean? Let alone in the Memphis vicinity. Because Jesus Christ, let's put a stain on that genre. And this is the problem, right? It's so bad. It genuinely is really bad. But there are 2 songs that are fantastic, which is the worst part, because it's like, if it was fully like those 2 songs, and those 2 songs being that everybody knows the intro and What It Mean, right? Oh my god, like genuinely some of Chris Travis's best songs, and I like Chris Travis. I mean, obviously, you know his debuts, it's incredible. Diamonds, obviously, I know, like, you know, it's one of his most popular tracks. What's that fucking EP with like H2O on? I can't remember, but that's really, really good. But this album is just so long, is so boring. Some of the worst hooks of the year. Like, it's like painful to listen to sometimes, and it's a shame, because Chris Travis genuinely is a talented guy, and his talent was proven on 2 songs, but he clearly couldn't deliver that level of expertise on pretty much every other song. It's like 2 other songs that I can't remember that I remember liking, but not nearly as much as those 2. But anyways, number 9. Now this was surprising for me, and it might sound surprising with what I'm going to say, only because I didn't think I was going to love this album. I didn't think this was going to be in, like, you know, even my top, like, 110 albums or 120 albums, right? I just thought this was going to be something that, like, I just like, right? You know, like a high 6 to a low 7 type of thing, right? And that's why, number 9, I've got Y2K by Ice Spice. I know it might sound surprising, but it's kind of like, you know, I liked some of her singles. You know, she had some charisma. She had, like, you know, it's very playful rap. It was very fun, upbeat. There wasn't really that much to care about, but man, like, she brought good energy to songs, and I don't know why people were hating on her so much, but unfortunately, those criticisms people gave do land on this album a lot, and it's those few words that I was saying, you know, character, charisma, energy. There is little to none of that on this album, and it's such a shame, because I think she could have made a genuinely decent like first tape. Like again, I'm not expecting anything like groundbreaking, you know, one of the best rap albums of the year or whatever, but I was expecting something to be like surprisingly good. It's like a nice little pop rap like mixtape, but this is terrible, and I really wish it wasn't. Some of the features on here as well, like they, you know, you can just kind of tell they're only in there for a check. They're in there just to hop on the bandwagon, whilst Ice Spice's name is still in the media, and you know, still getting lots of plays. Do I think she's capable of staying up top with like her popularity? I think so. I think some people are like a bit too quick on the fall off allegations, but like I think she's capable of, yeah, for sure, making another hit or two. She's just got to get back into that and do another song with Pink Pantheress. Genuinely, like that's the only thing I can think of. Number 8. Again, I don't know why I was expecting something like this, only because of just who she's associated with. By a 5-star by Booty Chain. Obviously, you know, person I'm talking about she's associated with is, you know, Black Cray. And I've heard some of her stuff before, and some of the stuff she's done, and I'm like, oh no, she's actually pretty decent. Now this is only like a 19-minute mixtape, right? It's really short, but there's just so much like ass on here that it's kind of hard to overlook anything else. Like, you know, the song with Rari is just like it's cool. And there's another song where it's like, but just her, which is not too bad. I can't remember it, but the rest of it is so. The problem with it is, it's so annoying. That is the worst. That's the biggest crime. It's annoying. It's sort of like, oh my fucking god, when will this thing end? So yeah, that's number 8. And the other, and there's not really much to talk about. That's the thing. Like Y2K and World War 2, you know, first 2 albums. It's ass, but there's a lot of ass to talk about. This is only 19 minutes of ass. That's not a lot of ass. You know what I mean? It's just kind of nothing, which is the problem. Number 7. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised about why I'm putting this here. I got the Death of Slim Shady, with like the Coup de Grace or whatever by Eminem. I don't know a bigger Eminem hater than myself, apart from like what's his name, like Lord Jamar. I can't remember his name. You know, there's a lot of Eminem haters online, but I personally consider myself one of the biggest. I don't like Eminem, and it's kind of weird because, like most white guys I know, including myself, our introduction to rap was Eminem. Let's be real, like it kind of was Eminem. You know, at least from my experience and other people know, Eminem was the first rapper I ever heard, right? So of course, I do have a soft spot for him because it's like, you know, it's my favorite genre. He introduced me to. But over the years, I've grown to genuinely hate a lot of his albums because I think he's the most overrated artist of all time. I don't think he's made an album above a 6. I think the Eminem Show is the most overrated album of all time, and I think Revival is probably in my top 5 least favorite albums of all time. I think he's consistently ass for someone so big. He records so shit. His bars are corny as fuck. Just because you can write a song by yourself and you know, have like some witty metaphors here and there, and also rap fast. Like why are we bringing maths into like rap now, where it's like, well, you know, he broke the record for the most syllables per second. Is this like a fucking NBA stat now? You sound like ESPN, you know what I mean? Like you sound fucking dumb. Like you're reaching so far. And Eminem stand, like I can make I don't want to go on this too much, but I really don't like Eminem fans as well. I think Eminem fans are the worst fans of all time. I think they're up there with the Ariana Grande fans, Lana Del Rey, Jesus Christ, on bass. You know, the Swift, like genuinely, they are so annoying to deal with. And you know, each album, I'm thinking maybe something might come out of this. Maybe I might actually like an Eminem album for once. And every time he drops, it just amazes me how like well received it is. Like this just being nominated for awards. I know it shouldn't, you know, correlate awards with like how good an album is, but like, you know, it just kind of baffles the mind that people think this is like quality rap and up there with like the best of the year. You know, and in the best of the decade even. It's such a painful listen. Again, the biggest problem about Eminem is how corny he is how he, you know, he's a grown, like, damn near 50-year-old. He might actually be 50 years old, I don't know. And he's writing bars that are making, like, maybe some 15-year-olds go, yo, did you hear that? Yo, the double entendres. It's so corny, and I hate it so much, and it's so long. His albums are so long. Like, even if it was half the length, I'd bump this up like 2 ratings. I don't know, it might be me being hyperbolic, but genuinely, this is like, it's appalling. It's appalling. It's really a disgrace on rap in general, and a disgrace to like other rappers, like because people are calling this some of the best rap album of the year. I'm like, what? Like you genuinely haven't heard anything else then? If this is your rap album of the year, just say you haven't listened to any other rap, because there's no way this is your best rap album of the year. Are we for real? Anyways. Number 6. This one's going to surprise a lot of people. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people because you guys are fucking stupid. No, I'm kidding. Like what you like. I'm just trolling. I got number 6. You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. This is the worst metal album I've heard like this year. Oh my god. People like how this is like, you know, metalcore is the fucking best. Oh, this is the best metal album of the year. What are we listening to? Is the good music in the room with us? Clearly not. Because it, again, how are some of these albums so short but feel like a fucking eternity? Because this is what it felt like. It was relentless bullshit. Just in my, I'm like, oh my fucking. I've never rolled my. I'm like averaging like 4 like eyes rolled per song. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just like, oh my fucking. Because the problem, like I'll give it this, right. Some of the instrumentals, you know, it's well produced. It is very well produced. I will say that's the only like genuine positive thing I can say. It is very well produced. But aside from that, right, the riffs are okay. There's energy in the instrumentals. I'm like, okay, fine. It's the vocals. Oh my god, it's like the way people sort of critique like Midwest emo, and you know, like the emo in general is like people just, you know, oh, it's just a random guy that can't sing on beat and screaming. Those criticisms, that's how I felt towards this album, because it's just like his vocals are horrendous. His vocals are terrible. Like, come on, like compared to some, because like I'll say this, right, like this year I've kind of like, as like one of my sort of resolutions that I made, not before this year, but you know what I mean, it was something I wanted to do, was to get into metal music a lot more, and not just like, because the only metal I was really listening to was like nu metal and thrash metal, but a lot of my friends gave me some, you know, black metal, death metal, fucking sludge metal, you know, a lot of like core, you know what I mean, those type of genres. So I got really into that this year, and I've discovered a lot of fantastic metal albums, genuinely like some of the best metal albums I've ever heard. That will obviously be on the other list, but this is just not that. And I was like, I'm hearing all this hype for it, and I'm just like, I just like, what? It's just some, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, I can sort of see the appeal to it for some people, but that sort of like really high pitched metal vocals just really like irritate me. They're just like, I think so many other, like, you know, like the only kind of sort of higher tone metal I like is probably like ambient death metal, you know what I mean? That kind of shit I don't mind, but this is awful. Okay, getting to the top 5 worst albums now. This one I don't really want to talk about because again it's sort of another nothing mixtape. I got Blackboard by 6ix9ine. I knew it was going to be ass, and it is ass. I don't really want to talk about it, it's just shit. Number 4, another album I sort of expected to, no, that's a lie, not completely ass. So it's the Dave soundtrack by Lil Dicky, right? Whatever that show is he's made. A little comedy show. Now, he hasn't released an album in a long time. So, was I thinking this is going to be good? Like, no. But I thought, like, you know, this is, you know, he's had a long time to think about new ideas, you know, new bars, new flows, whatever, right? New beats. Maybe he could just make, like, a few good songs and call it a day. Just make some, like, other, just like, boring trap or something like that. And just, like, it might reach, like, a 5 out of 10, which is, you know, good for him. That's like... That's applaud worthy, you know, like, well done, like, good job. But this, it's like, I think I remember, it isn't like over an hour, and it's just like, it feels like nothing's changed. And the other problem was the first track actually wasn't that bad. It actually wasn't that bad. The flows were really good. But everything else was like just so horrendous. And again, for someone that like is trying to make a comedy album, where's the comedy? Where's the punchline? You know what I mean? It's saying a joke about a punchline is just one of the most brain dead things you can really do. Like it kills the vibe, and this album kills the vibe. Like if you're playing this at my house, I'm genuinely gonna feel like uncomfortable around you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not like I'm not just gonna be like, oh, this is a bit weird. I'm gonna genuinely be like, oh my god, like, why are you in my house? get out. Like, why are you playing this? But yeah, the bars on here are fucking awful, man. Jesus Christ. And it's just also incredibly boring. That's the worst crime of this. Again, it's just so plain, bland, derivative of anything. No emotion whatsoever, aside from, again, the first, like, track or two. But anyways, number 3. It's kind of a cheating one because I think technically it is an EP, but I've got Genre Sad Boy by MGK and Trippie Redd. For those who don't know, outside of, you know, the bigots who make bad music, like, you know, Adam Calhoun and the fucking guy, Roddy Radke, you know, I don't like to shit on those guys because it's just like, it's so easy to, you know, but so aside from those type of artists, Machine Gun Kelly is my least favorite artist of all time. I think he's consistently dropped so many zeros out of 10. I think there should be like a statue for that, because that's quite the achievement. And MGK is just, he's hands on the worst artist of all time. And now Trippie Redd, on the other hand, I actually have a lot of respect for, because he was one of the first rappers I ever kind of discovered as well. You know, and I really like genuinely a lot of his tapes and a lot of his albums. I think he's made really quality releases, even as of recent. Like his last year's album, was it like Mansion Music or something like that? That was ass. But a lot of the albums before, I don't think there was an album I gave under like a 6. Like I think everything else was, even shit like Pegasus I didn't mind. The rock album was bad. That was kind of mid. But Pegasus I liked to an extent. You know, exclamation mark, I didn't mind it. But hearing this, man, it's like, wow, what went wrong? And I kind of feel like he hasn't been the same from this. Not even from this, just from like the end of last year. Trippie Redd is, I feel like people don't talk about how much he really fell off. Like, he really fell off. And it's kind of like, why are you collabing with Machine Gun Kelly, man? It's so corny. Like, it's so like, oh my god, these guys are like grown-ass men, like, personifying a fucking Bart Simpson edit. Like, what the fuck? I'm all for men talking about emotions, but you know, you're sort of glamorizing the wrong parts of it, and you know, it's not authentic. That's like the worst part about it. Like, you know, you can hear all these pop songs about, like, you know, sad stuff, and sure, it sounds cheap and plastic, but there's some sort of emotion to it. But this is like, it kind of just feels like in a way, it's sort of therapeutic. So you're like, if this is really what depression is like, this shit's like fucking corny, man. I don't want to be like that. And then you're like, oh, let me be a better person because I'm not fucking MGK. Because how he has fans, like, he's one of the weirdest people. Like, bro is actually like, bro, he's gonna be on a list somewhere. I'm telling you right now, registered. He's on a register. I'll say that. And probably Trippie Redd as well. What he was like with Bad Baby, it's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look. Number 2, a pathetic excuse for an album. Pathetic excuse for a comedy album. And I don't even know if that's what he intended, but I got Young Genius by Lil Mabu. Again, what a surprise. You know, one of the corniest new artists of the year makes one of the fucking worst albums I've ever heard. Like, Jesus Christ. Biggest crime on this was the singing on some of the songs. Never, ever try that again. No, swerve out of that lane, bro. Absolutely not. The bars pathetic. The character just, you know, deranged. It is sickening. There's nothing about this that makes me laugh or giggle in the slightest. It's horrible. It's spit worthy. Like, you know, you know, it's like scum. You know, scum of like the rap industry right now, Lil Mabu, which might be a bit harsh, but you know, it's a shit album. Now, number 1, everyone on Instagram knows this because I made a very passionate rant about it. Now, of course, I kind of want to give some like honorable mentions because, you know, I haven't listened to it, but then the Fall in Reverse album, I'm sure if I listened to that, that'd probably be number 1. But again, I thought that was kind of like that was a cop out. There's a lot of albums that were bad this year. The new Destroy Lonely album was quite mid. Goodbye Horses by Ian, also very mid, because I genuinely liked his debut compared to what a lot of others said. But Goodbye Horses was such a disappointment. Another disappointment, new Declan McKenna album. Oh my god. Whoa, wow, that was a bad album. And I think that's probably it for some honorable mentions. because the number one for me, hands down, is Loom by Imagine Dragons. Now, again, to no one's surprise, Imagine Dragons releases another poor excuse for an arena rock pop anthem-ish. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just so bad. And again, it's another one of those bands where it's just like, how are they this big? It's shocking, and kind of doesn't. It leaves a very big void in me, and I'm like, whoa, humanity's not as perfect as I once thought. You know what I mean? It's really just like, ooh, this is concerning. There's way too many people that enjoy this. Wow. Don't like it. No. Why don't I like it? Because it's highly produced nothing. And again, this is a pretty short album. It's like 36 minutes. Oh no, I remember it now, because it's like 32 minutes, but the last song is just like I think it's got like J Balvin on or something like that. It's an experience, I'll say that for sure. There are some songs where it's like there is some like kind of meaningful lyricism. Like I remember there's like, well, I think you talk about like depression or like suicidal isolation, something like that, right? So I'm like, okay, that's, you know, you can't really go wrong with those ideas unless you're MGK and Trippie Redd. I know you can kind of see some like heart, you know, warming stuff there. You know, it's decent, like I said, decent production, but it's just rock pop nothing. There's just nothing about this album that makes me want to think about it again. It's not funny bad. It's just heaps. It's minutes of my life that I will never get back. Minutes of my life where I'm looking back on it and I'm going, I think, you know, pissing blindfolded from a far distance to see how much you can get in is more valuable use of that time than listening to that album. It's, ooh, what an album, man, what an album. But yeah, those are the top 10 worst albums of the year. I really enjoyed making this, I can't lie. Hopefully get this all edited up soon. And yeah, I will try and maybe upload those other two ideas, but I'm probably just going to do the top 100 albums. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, yeah, peace.